Medieval freak maidens, yeah. We got OnlyFans now, but it used to be just connoisseurs. Oh, that contraption right there for the medieval freak maidens, yeah. We got OnlyFans now, but it used to be just connoisseurs. Oh, that contraption. It's my barbecue sauce. Her barbecue sauce. My barbecue sauce. Haven't you ever noticed after people have some of my barbecue sauce, after a while when it kicks in, they get all huggy-buggy? There's no doubt this is the most insane hole in the history of golf. What is? It's the Extreme Night. Oh, urban golf is a bastardized form of golf. All I do is take milk containers from school, stuff them in newspaper. This insane A. For 40. This insane.
Yo, what's up, guys? Sitting up here looking at some Instagram shit. Might actually go live on Instagram real quick too. Let's see. All right. Boozy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure appreciate this birthday love, bro. Your boy say 42. 40 fucking 2 years on this damn earth, bro. That shit seemed hella old when you were a kid. When you 10, 11, motherfuckers 42, you be like, damn, you old as fuck. I still feel young as a bitch right now, though. Feel young than a motherfucker. saying? It feels good being this age, man. Shit, I ain't got no complaints right now. What you out there doing? Dog finna act right. Dropping my papers. Shit don't get no better than this right here, bro. Shit don't get no better than this right here. Just being grown and minding your own business. That's it, man. Hey, mind your own business. Take your ass to work. Take your ass back home. Yo, Instagram. What's good? Who's up here? What's good, guys? How y'all doing? Yo, my man, Blunt to the mover. Yo, Watson, we tried to, yeah, we tried this last time. Let's see. See if we can get somebody in here. You know how we do. Well, hello.
You doing okay?
Yes, I am. How are you doing?
All right. I want to tell you, I like your art, and you got a big influence on me. Can I show you some of my art right quick?
Yes, please do.
Hold on, okay?
We got you. Please share whatever you got.
Okay, hold on.
Amari, what's good? I got some, this shit is called Pharaoh or something. It's in a little weird package, and I'm kind of nervous about this. Ooh, shit. Kicking it with my girl right now. Hey, bro, that's all you can do, man. Once again, mind your business. Go to work. Take your ass home. Hopefully when you get home, you got somebody there to chill with. That's all it is about life right now, bro.
Hello?
Yeah.
Here it is. Can you see some of my art? Hold on.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to get better.
That's really good.
What you say?
I said that looks really good.
Thank you.
Well, dang. Well, how long you been drawing portraits?
I used to do it when I was like in the 80s. And I had a son, I stopped. So I picked up probably about like 17 years ago. Here's some more right here.
That's really good.
I'm having a hard time trying to draw hands. And I be looking at your art, so more people are on Instagram. And you all have a big influence on me.
And you say you're having problem drawing hands?
Trying to draw hands, because you may come out different types of shapes.
Yeah, hands are one of the toughest things. So normally what I would suggest is when you're bored and you feel like sketching something, sketch your own hands. Just use your own hands. I'll sit down and I'll pose my hands different ways, and I'll just sketch my hand for a little while just to get used to drawing hands. Because hands are some of the toughest things to draw, but it's all practice.
You see that? You see her hand? Can you see that?
It looks really good though.
I come to realize that I'm my own enemy, you know, because I look at your art, so more people, I want to get like them, but I had to be myself, you know.
This is very true.
And I did this shit the other day.
Wow, that looks really good too. You're really good with the pencil, I see.
How long you been doing that painting?
I really decided to take painting serious in 2009.
Okay.
So I've been really trying to focus on the paints for a while now.
Let me show you something that print. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, I always enjoy talking to other creators.
You see that?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
When I first started doing, everybody started picking at me, and now they start picking. I guess they said, wait a minute. They said I done come a long way with
Yeah,
my art.
like
So,
whoa, she's actually good. Yeah, they're like she's actually good. Can't make fun of that no more.
You see that?
Yeah, that's real good.
Thank you. I want sometime draw like in a hold on for me, another picture I want to show you. I did this other day. I got just trying to make the pants look real. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
How often do you draw?
Just about every day. Sometimes I have a lot of my mind just mess up paper. But like this right here, I think this is some idea I have some on my mind. Somebody said it look good though. That's just me.
It does look good.
Thank you. And I want to be like around a lot of artists, somebody can help encourage me and stuff, But
that's the only way to do it.
Sometimes I draw like just about every day. Sometimes I have in my mind. My husband said I sit there, I stare at people. That's what artists do. They stare at people, right?
You're a people watcher. That's how we do it. And people think it's weird sometimes that you just stare at people, but I do the same thing. I'm definitely a people watcher. Sometimes people catch me staring at them, but it is what it is. You should.
Yeah, I be looking at your eyes like you real good, though. I mean, you said 2007, like you've been doing for a while.
Yeah. But I go through the same thing too, because there's a lot of artists that I really respect, and I really try to take a lot of inspiration from their work. But the hardest thing to do is not compare yourself to people. It's really tough not to compare yourself. But the thing is, like you say, we're all different. We all have different styles, and we all see the world in a different way. And so once you just realize like you can just do your own thing. And if you like it, trust me, other people will like it as well.
It took me sometimes it took about 15 minutes to draw. You see that picture there?
Mm-hmm. It only took you 15 minutes to do that?
Uh-huh. I did like in July last year, 22. Sometimes it took about 15 minutes, and I'm trying to get there. But
and sometimes it takes me like 2 hours to do a drawing of a person or something. It takes me a long time. I wish I could do something like that in 15 minutes.
Yeah, you good though. Like, and one thing, this guy named, he's good. You just got his name, Hayden Williams. He's a good artist. You need to check him out. He's real good.
What's his name?
Hold on for a minute. Hayden Williams.
Hayden Williams?
He's real good, and he take and draw like Janet Jackson. I mean, he's good.
Okay.
And I mean, I was looking at some of his art. I said, man, he's good, but I never talked to him. But I know we've been talking for a while.
Yeah. I'm always ready to talk to any other artist.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I want to draw the courthouse. I don't know about all that though, but I love art. This book right here. Hold on, I got this book. Can you see that book? I want to draw her.
Oh, yeah, that's a good picture right there.
And my husband said, you always staring at people. I can't help it. When I be staring, I look about a pencil, how I'm going to draw that person. Mm-hmm. So one day I was telling him, like, this guy, he said, how long it take you to draw? To my 15 minutes because the head shaped like an oval shape, the eyes and all this stuff. And the hands shaped like the thumb shaped like a chicken leg. He like, where you got it? As we study art,
That's all you got to do.
Say hello to my husband, Prince. Hold on, Prince.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing this evening?
I'm good.
All right. You support your wife in the art, right?
Yeah, I look at her. I tell her what you're doing good, what you ain't doing good.
That's how you got to be, man. You got to keep it real with her.
And she add too much stuff. I be telling she be adding too much to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she'll add too much to it.
You let her hang her art up around the house?
I told her she should get some frames and hang it up. She won't do it.
Yeah, you got to hang the art up.
Yeah.
What you doing with the light?
Uh-huh. I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. The other day, when I was looking at your art, and I told you, like Tyrese, I was showing him a picture. He said, he did that. I said, yes, he did that. I think it was a man sitting on a bench.
Oh yeah, well I'm not finished that one yet. I'm still working on that painting.
How long took you to do that one?
Oh well, just the underpainting, like the first layer, I probably worked on it for about a week. Maybe I put probably about 15 hours into the underpainting.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
so
but when I was seeing this guy named Hayden Williams, he's real good.
yeah,
I think he's from another country. He's good though. I mean, man, this man good. Like you said, when I try to compare myself, I be looking at your art, I get kind of frustrated.
yeah.
Because I said I was that way, but I hadn't got there yet. But I done come a long way though.
No, your technique and your pencil is really really good. Um, you have
See that?
yes, that's a lot of talent. So you're
One day I had drawn Shaq O'Neal. I draw Tupac. So another guy, he tried to outdo me. And I got kind of flustered. Well, I'm not going to get frustrated, you know. But
well, what you should start doing is taking your own pictures and drawing your own stuff.
yeah, that's true too.
Photograph your husband or your kids or whatever and draw their picture. I mean, celebrities are always cool, you know, Shaq and Pac and everybody, but it's more of your own thing when you take the picture yourself. And if you can draw them that well, you can draw anybody just as well as that.
So let me ask you a question. Can you draw a person live?
I can, but like I say, I draw really slow, so I really haven't tried it because I would need a model to sit still for like 2 or 3 hours. And there's a gallery that offers like live drawing classes. I've never really been to one before because I always feel like I probably won't get enough done in one setting. So I don't really try to paint people from life or draw people from life.
You good though. I mean, I've been looking at your art for a while.
Thank you, thank you.
And like I said, a lot of people, they started laughing at me and stuff. And, you know, some told me don't give a practice make perfect. I draw Queen Latifah one time, and she said, well, it don't look like. I said, well, oh, well. I said, that's your thought, you know. But people, like you said, you make mistake, but they're not going to see your mistake, but you're going to see them.
Mm-hmm. That's it though. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And then plus on top of that, if people laugh or whatever, that's on them. Like at least you have a creative outlet. You know, you're creating something. Most people don't even create stuff. So whoever is laughing and saying, "Oh, this and that," they probably don't do nothing creative them own self. They probably go sit down and watch TV all day.
Yeah, because a lot of people might. You done come a long way, so I got family. Why you don't sell your pictures and stuff? I'm just, I guess I'm trying to get, you know, where you all at. But I mean, you good. I tell a lot of them, oh, they good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely have the potential to sell art. I mean, you're really good, so.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I really do. I draw Janet Jackson and Jane Harton somewhere. I don't know where is it at, but I'm just trying to get these hands together.
Yeah. That's all it takes. They say practice, 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 and practice. And a lot of people say practice make perfect, but practice don't make perfect. Practice just makes you better. You know that and you can always get a little bit better. I feel like every time I finish a painting, that's my best painting. The last one I did is always the best one, and then the next one I do, it'll be a little bit better and a little bit better. It'll never be perfect, but it'll always get a little better and a little better and a little better each time you do it.
I appreciate you. See, that's why I like to be around a lot of artists because they encourage me. But like you said, I come to realize, like them critics, they kind of, you know, they kind of see where my little mistakes there, but I try to, you know, keep trying to get there because I done come a long way with my art.
Yeah, well, you draw better than a lot of people I know, so.
Let me see that back there in the background, right there on the left side. Is that a lady?
This right here?
Right there. Let me see that. Oh, that look good.
So this is my studio right now. Let's see if I can flip this.
Wow, look at all this. Look at that cat. You see his art? Look at that. That you ain't, Prince.
Yeah, that's me.
You do you try to sell some of your art?
Oh, I sell a good bit of art.
Okay. Wow, look at that. You get all that too?
Yeah, this one is old though. I did this years and years ago.
Man, that make that you do that by pictures.
Yeah, I take the photos and then draw it from the photo.
You good. I hope we get back there one day.
You can. You definitely can.
But check my art sometime on my Instagram.
I definitely will.
Well, I'm not going to try. I just want to stay here. I'll be clicking on sometime.
Well, I sure appreciate you following me, and these discussions and these conversations and all the wonderful comments I get from people like you is really what encourages me and motivates me and inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, and that's all we need is like-minded people who can just push us further and inspire us to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, sometimes we get frustrated too, but people don't see it.
Yeah. And that's when you talk to your art buddies and have conversations like this and get the juices flowing again, and then you'll be right back in there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Rick, because you really inspire me. Like, cause I pick up a lot of artists. I be telling them they art is good, and they tell me, well, too many people don't comment on my art, but you know, some artists say my art is good, but like you said, you got critics out there, but like you said, they can't draw a line.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the conversation. Thanks for stopping by with me.
Okay.
All right.
And we'll check you out next time. You have a good day. Keep up the good work.
You too. Chat with you later.
Okay. Bye, Prince.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was pretty dope. That was interesting. Noble. Bro. I really gotta find time to get back into my artwork. I remember in school I was pretty close to drawing like you, but you're on a whole nother level now, bro. That's that thing, man. The older we get, and life takes a hold of us, bro. And then I tell motherfucker, I be trying to tell younger people, once you get a bill in your name, a bill that's specifically for you, I don't give a fuck if it's a cell phone bill, a car payment, whatever, rent. Once you start paying bills that first time, that's it. It's a wrap. You stuck in fucking adulthood. Unless you get lucky, or unless you got some trust fund or some goddamn some shit that some family member done left you. If you just a regular person who gotta work, man, once you pay that first bill, that's life. That's life now. You know what I'm saying? And then once that real life just hold your ass and put you in that motherfucking little box and tell you you gotta run on this fucking treadmill, now you're in a rat race with everybody else. And a lot of shit that we know is important to us. We know it's important, but somehow it doesn't make money. And that's the bottom line. This world is run, we live in a capitalistic system, and this shit is run on money. So everything you do are the main things you do, which is your job, and most people has a job. We have to do that so we can support ourselves. And even though the things we love to do, like sometimes it don't help us financially. And so that shit kind of get pushed to the side a little bit. And then, you know, you take on more bills, and then you push it to the side a little bit more. And then you start a family and you have kids, and then you push it to the side a little, and then sooner or later that shit damn near out of reach. You done push it so far to the side you can't hardly grab that motherfucker and pull it back, man. And I hate when that happens, but I understand that sometimes that's just what life does to people. That's fucking life. And it is what it is, and it's not anyone's fault. You know, it's nobody's fault. But you can't let that shit slip away, bro. And Dominic, I can't see your profile picture. I know a couple Dominics, man. Where you from? How we know each other? You ain't Stump. That's Stump, older brother. That Dominic. Your little brother named Stump. But now that you realize this perpetual cycle of adulthood that we are placed in, you still, okay, you understand this is a fucking rat race. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do whatever we gotta do. We gotta juggle all this shit. We gotta wear this hat and wear this fucking hat. So we know that shit. Once you see how that shit operates, and you basically got the understanding of it, that's when you still have to find just that little bit of time. You gotta carve out that little bit of time for yourself, bro. You gotta make time for that passion. You gotta make time to be emotionally creative. You just got to, man. That part. Don't you love that shit, bro? Don't you love that? Yeah, I love that part, bro. But yeah, bro. I know you is. I say, ain't Stump your little brother? I'm fucking up. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of Ken, Thomas or Terry. When I got out of high school, well, I ain't even get out of high school. I dropped out of high school in 11th grade, 1999. I was supposed to be a part of the class of 2000. You know what I'm saying? That was a landmark graduation year, yo. You know, the turn of the fucking century, that shit was wild, yo. Everybody was so hyped for the 2000 graduation year. Dropped out of school right before that shit. Never went back. And so when I dropped out, I just hit the streets hard as fuck, bro. Hit the streets running, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was selling everything. Had cash money in my motherfucking pocket. Had a car. Me and my cousin had a trailer together. Matter of fact, my cousin had like 2 trailers. And goddamn, I just did the street thing for like 10 fucking years. Yeah, Thomas. Motherfucking, Ken Thomas. Used to call my man Monkey Jordan with the big ears. Yo, Ken, my cousins, cause we all, man, Hartsville, nigga, everybody damn near related in that shit, cause, Shine, motherfucking, Kennard Wingate, like, my aunt married one of his uncles, and then Ken is Kennard cousin, and then, Eric, and motherfucking, what Eric brother name is? Their last name Scott. Then the Scott boys, they related, and then like motherfucker is Hartsville, nigga. Everybody third, second cousin. That's why I never really dated nobody from my hometown, bro. I ain't gonna lie, yo. So middle school shit, motherfucker can say I dated people, but then I wound up going to school in Darlington. I dated like a couple Darlington chicks. But like all my real relationships, yo, man, my one chick was from Pageland. And then that was the only chick I really fucked with in high school. And then after that, like out of high school, I fucked with this bitch from Florida. Then I fucked with this bitch from New Jersey. I ain't never really fucked with no Hartsville bitches, bro. You find out you your own grandpa. Hey, bro, and my family, I come from a big ass family, bro. Yeah, we all like family around here, bro. That's how Hartsville just one of them towns like that. I think I couldn't look up the demographics, yo. Yo, the demographics of Hartsville, I swear it's less than 10,000 people. If I ain't mistaken, yo, Hartsville ain't got 10,000 people. And they just a couple of families that been there for fucking generations. And shit, my main family last name is Brown. And my great grandma had motherfucking like 14 kids. 14 kids. And then my grandma had like 9 kids. And I remember one time, good, yeah, I was in Darlington. I'm chilling in Darlington, man. I done meet this little cute honey over there. Whoop de whoop, ba 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 ba, and exchange numbers or whatever. I called her or whatever. And then I was like, all right, it's this and that, blah blah blah. What's your last name? She was like, oh, my last name Brown. Oh damn, man, who your family is, man? What you got? What's your daddy name? What's your mama name? I ain't know them shits. I said, what you got some? What's your uncle's name? And then she said, "Oh, one of my great uncles named Bubba." I'm like, "Man, that's my uncle too. Bitch, we family." Nah, I ain't never known you, never met you a day of my life, but somehow we in the same family. I'm good. You talking about your last name Brown? Nah. So what you saying, Dom? You getting back into the art now or what, bro? You talking about if you see me, you know who I am. Well, bring your ass in the stream then. Oh, I don't know why I can't invite you. Anyway. Small town, bro. Small town. Can't be that small town shit. Exactly, and that's the only reason motherfuckers date Hartsville people, cause I ain't really from here. Like one of my other good homeboys, he moved to Hartsville in middle school, but he came from Conway. And who else? The Robinson boys. I don't think the Robinsons was from Hartsville to start with. Um, the Caraway family, Barnaby and Babe Ruth. God bless the dead. And then what Babe Ruth's other sister name was? Like the Caraways. They came when we was in middle school. And then the Benjamins, they came in middle school. Timiandria Benjamin and oh, I forgot the brother name. Oh, them niggas came in middle school. So when they family started coming in, motherfucker really fucking with they ass. But then like me and all my cousins, man, Nikki, Chrissy, Shonda, my sister, man, I ain't had nothing but girls. Like my generation, man, is mostly girls, bro. I just hated school, man. Yo, Trap, hook me up with your cousin. Hook me up with your cousin. Hook me up with your sister. Nigga, hook your damn self up. I'm not giving my cousin your phone number, bitch. Fuck out of here. But I got too much of that shit in high school. Hook me up with some. Hook me up. I'm not hooking you up with nobody in my family, yo, nigga. Hook yourself up. The Benjamins, that's another well-known family in the Ville. Motherfucking Pete, Levi, BJ, goddamn, and the Benjamin, Dexter, all the Benjamins, the money family. Yes, sir. Now shit done changed a little bit in Hartsville. I go home, I don't know a lot of people, man. I've been gone for so long. Old saying, it's a small world. I know that's right. You know what I'm saying? And the older you get, the smaller it get. You know, cause you know everybody now. I like living places where I don't know everybody. Everybody don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Mind yours, I'm a mind mines. Motherfucking JT Lincoln. Like I say, it's all family, nigga. That's what I'm telling you, man. everybody family by blood or marriage. And that's all these motherfuckers doing now. Like I said, I see a lot of people from the Ville and got married to each other. And now y'all done took these two families and brought them shits back together. You goddamn, my homeboy married a Rhodes, and then the Coles and the McDaniels. All them motherfuckers got wives from the same area, and now I'm into the McDaniels family because my cousin's son, damn, what my man, I can't think of his first name, yo. He a McDaniel though, so McDaniel's daughter and my cousin's son, they got together and they got 2 kids now. So now it's like our families are intertwined through blood. And that's just Hartsville. It's just like you know what I'm saying? We ain't related, but now the next generations, all these motherfuckers started to fuck around and have kids and shit. Now we cousins and shit. Now we at the same family reunions and all this shit. Small towns, man, small towns. Why I can't think of McDaniel first name, yo? And then, matter of fact, one of my other cousins, she got kids from a McDaniel, Mario, and who else? I don't know. I love my little town. I love all my people there. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with no bitches from Hartsville. All y'all too close, man. All y'all, everybody know everybody. Everybody cousin some kind of way. I'm good, man. I realized that shit early on, like when I first started liking girls. It's like I'm not too much confusion. Cause if you from Hartsville, and you still dating people in Hartsville now who's from Hartsville, man, ain't no fuck everybody else in Hartsville. Like, because I know, like, I ain't gonna call no names on this one, but I know a shorty who just got married, and I don't know her dude, so he must be somebody from somewhere else. I don't think he from Hartsville, but I know shorty got married recently. But yeah, but back in the day, bro, man, we ran a train on this chick, yo. 4 niggas. 4. She took it like a champ. She took it like a champ, bro. I'm trying to told you. And now she all in wedding pictures, all married. Like, nah, I'm just, bro. I'm happy you're not from here, cause you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't the women I date, I don't personally like to inquire about their history, their past, their body count, and none of that shit. But my main thing is I just hope it ain't niggas I know. I don't want to be booed up with you walking through Walmart and the niggas looking at me just like, damn, bro. I just ain't never wanted that to be me. But it is what it is. Yo, I'm in here running my mouth. I need to get these brushes wet and make this canvas do what it do. But If y'all still got a few more minutes to chill, we are live in the motherfucking studio on YouTube. My YouTube is basically my paintings by the Prince, or you can just type in uh, Travis Prince on YouTube. More than likely, my channel will pop up some kind of way. But y'all, you'll find it. I'm saying I'm gonna be chilling here for like another hour and a half or so like that. But I really do gotta get to the art. I gotta finish filling this in. Hopefully, honestly, today I wouldn't mind. I'm not sure what I want to do. I could either fill her pants in, the mom. I could fill her pants in, or I could work on the daughter's shirt. I think either one I could probably get done in an hour or so. But I'm thinking I might do the pants. Well, it really depends on what colors I have on this palette, and do I need to add more colors? Shit. But yeah, always appreciate everybody hopping into the stream, chilling with me, having really good conversations, especially when it comes to the artistic and creative aspects of it. Like I said, this is my motivation and encouragement to keep doing this thing, yo. But yeah, jump into the YouTube if y'all still want to hang out for a few more minutes. If you ain't got, if you got another like 5 or 10 minutes to chill, we'll be right here. Travis, how much would you charge me to paint my wedding picture? Oh, that's the conversation I like to have, bro. Inbox me. I seen your price list. Yo, peace, guys. Thanks. And that gets deleted from history.
Why do you keep turning it on? That's a seat warmer. It warms the seat. Okay. Okay, well, you should not put a seat warmer on. But what we're not going to do is fry fish up in this motherfucker. Why do you keep turning my seat warmer off? Why do you keep turning it on? That's a seat warmer. It warms the seat. Okay. Okay, well, you should not put a seat warmer on. But what we're not going to do is fry fish up in this motherfucker.
Yo, Granny told her, yo, pussy stink, bitch. Stop turning on the motherfucking seat warmer. What we're not gonna do is...
Coach is right. If you want to win this, it's on us. Shut the fuck up. Guys, Coach is right. If you... Most niggas broke like they trying to set a trend. He's a pretender. I'm on the score. He a sex offender. Most niggas broke like they trying to set a trend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Granny is not playing with this bitch, yo. She said, why you keep turning my seat warmer off? Why you keep turning your seat warmer on? It's a seat warmer. What we ain't about to do is fry fish up in this motherfucker with your stank ass pussy. The little bitch don't know how to wash your goddamn ass. That's what's wrong with y'all little bitches now. No, you ain't see the... Yo, these grannies is not playing, bro. Actually, yo, these grannies is fucking not playing.
Look down. Pay attention. Look down. Now look down. Pay attention. Look down here in this pot. Yes. You see that? I can see. See, you ain't paying attention and you ain't gonna learn how to cook. Yeah. And that's the reason why your mama ain't got no man now. It makes sense. You're gonna end up being just like her. Look in the damn pot. Let me see. Yeah, that's the ticket. See that down? Look. That's called Catch a Man Stew. I'm gonna teach you this young, cause we ain't bringing no more you bastards up in here. That's called boiling. When you get your food hot. Now look down. Pay attention.
I teach you this early, so you don't be like your mama. That's what's wrong with it now. This called Catch a Man Stew. I'm show you this, cause we ain't bringing them old bastards up in here.
You gonna end up being just like
you gonna end up being.
See, you ain't paying attention and you ain't gonna learn how to cook. Yeah. And that's the reason why your mama ain't got a man now. You gonna end up being just like her. Look in the damn pot.
Let me see.
That's the ticket.
That's the ticket.
See that down? That's called Catch a Man Stew. I'm gonna teach you this young, cause we ain't bringing no more you bastards up in here.
We ain't bringing no more you bastards up in here. I'm gonna teach you this young. We ain't bringing no more you bastards up in here. Show you how to make this Catch a Man Stew right now. Called a bastard. Her mama can't keep a man. The other granny told her granddaughter, your pussy smell like fried fish, bitch. Yo, these grannies is not playing with these youngins right now, man. It is not playing. These girls gonna have to act right. I continue to get put in their place. But if a man tell a woman some shit like that, then we wrong and we being toxic with our masculinity. But an old head can say that shit smooth with no problem. Say that shit smooth, no problem. You know what? I think it's time for a new beat because I'm tired of listening to all these shits already. Not going to lie. Tired of listening to all these motherfucking beats. So let's not listen to beats. Every time. Yo, my fucking internet just be hella fucking slow up here. I'm definitely gonna need something to drink real quick. Oh, shit. Yo. Damn, what's good?
She really got me, bro.
You let a girl finesse you like that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
You got beans.
Oh, she sent me the voicemail. Come on, man.
That's in all of them though?
Yes, bro. All of them.
No, it's not.
Bro.
Oh my god. That is weird as fuck. What's wrong with people?
Why you recording, man?
Why would I not record this?
My nigga, what would you do, bro? Somebody gave you a bag of beans. Not a bag. Yo, he brought like 6 Jones, yo. Yo, he brought like, he thought he was buying like 6 Jones. And the shit is motherfucking baked beans, nigga. Yo, she really gave this nigga beans. Beans in a bag, bro. Boston baked beans. Bruh. Wherever I met that bitch at, I would be at that bitch every day for motherfucking weeks until I seen this bitch again, bro. Alright. This the last one. Yo, I laughed at this shit right here like 1,000 million times, yo.
I trust my son.
I trust my mom. I didn't even get it out my mouth. My bad. We can do it again. Trust me, this time. Ow! I'm not doing it no more. I trust my mom.
Yo, the buffer is fucking up
All right,
the
for
whole
the
thing.
1,000th time, I trust my mom. Thank you. You gotta build trust. Trust is built, my nigga. It ain't.
Yo, she got real as shit on the end. Why is it buffering so bad, yo?
I didn't even. My bad. I didn't even.
This nigga, go back to the beginning. Oh my god.
I trust my son.
I trust my mom. I didn't even get it out my mouth. My bad. We can do it again. Trust me, this time.
Trust me, this time.
Ow! I'm not doing it no more. I trust my mom. All right, for the 1,000th time, I trust my mom. Thank you. You gotta build trust. Trust is built, my nigga. It ain't just earned. What does that have to do with hitting me in the head 1,000 times? Trust that was gonna
Yo, it's still.
get the shit right. Sooner or later.
Yo, she said trust I was gonna get this shit right sooner or later.
I trust mama. I didn't even get it out my mouth. My bad.
Yo, my bad. We can do it again for real this time.
Trust me.
Trust me, this time. Yo, trust is built, my nigga. Trusted I was gonna get it right sooner or later.
Alright, for the 1,000th time, I trust my mom. Thank you. You gotta build trust. Trust is built, my nigga. It ain't just earned. What does that have to do with hitting me in the head 1,000 times? Trust that was gonna get the shit right. Sooner or later.
Yo, trusted I was gonna get this shit right sooner or later, nigga.
I trust mom. I didn't even get it.
Ma, I ain't even get it out my mouth. Yo, she was beaming his ass with that fucking ball. Alright, let's do it again. I'm gonna get it right this time. Trust me. Trust me this time. Trust is built, my nigga. That shit just ain't earned. What they gotta do with anything? Trusted I was gonna get this shit right sooner or later. How she make nonsense make sense? Yo, the comments on that shit was so fucking crazy, yo. She was like, she did him right and wrong at the same time. Beat his ass and taught him a lesson at the same time. Showed this nigga the path to enlightenment. Yo, everybody was just going in on my. Yo, trust is built, my nigga. Yo, Mom Duke super gangster, yo. That's all. God, like how Baba used to talk, yo. My mom was not no fucking punk, yo. That bitch did an ass of time in jail, and she was a straight up fighter. Like, yo, she was a fighter, yo. All you gotta do is say jump. That, hey, she is on it. Jay Leno shows off his new ear after what?
The garage fire, which was serious. You said that you got a new face and a new ear. What does that mean?
Well, that means I got a new face and a new ear. I mean, ear, when you catch fire, there's no bone. Ears like paper, they go up. So they make you a new one, and they.
Can I see that?
Sure.
Can I see the other one? They look the same.
Yeah, I had a very good doctor.
After the garage fire, which was serious.
Yo, you can't even tell that's not his real ear. That shit look crazy. This nigga got a real ear. Alright, I gotta turn my chat GPT into auto GPT.
This is Super AGI. It's essentially AutoGPT on steroids. It can use tools, it can run multiple agents in parallel, it has a graphical user interface, it's super easy to install, and they're adding new functionality every single day. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install Super AGI and also how to use it. It has a lot of functionality. I'm going to show you around some of it, and then I encourage you to play around with it. Let's go. So this is the GitHub repo for Super AGI. It's by Transformer Optimus, and it's currently on GitHub trending. It has a lot of functionality. Let's review some of it really quick, and then I'm going to get into the installation guide. So first, obviously, you can provision, spawn, and deploy autonomous AI agents. A couple things that it does better than AutoGPT is the fact that you can extend it with a bunch of different tools right out of the box. It also has a graphical user interface, and you can run agents concurrently. Here's some of the tools that it has. So Slack, email, Google Search, GitHub, Zapier, Instagram, and it's all wrapped up in a Docker image, so it's super easy to install. Let me show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to need to do is get Docker. So go to docker.com, download Docker, install it, and then have it up and running. This is what it looks like. And you could just keep that on in the background. Next, we're going to open up Visual Studio Code. Then we're going to click this little button in the top right that says Toggle Panel. That'll open up our terminal within Visual Studio Code. Next, on the repo page, we're going to click this little green code button, and then we're going to copy the URL. Once the terminal opens up, we're going to type cd, change directory, and change to our desktop. From there, we're going to type git clone, and then paste that URL that we just copied. Hit enter, and that'll clone it to our desktop. Then we're going to come up to this Explorer icon. We're going to click it. We're going to click Open Folder, and then we're going to select Super AGI and click Open. Then again, in the top right, we're going to toggle panel, so that'll open up our terminal. And while that's opening, the next thing we're going to do is right-click on config_template.yaml, and we're going to rename it. And we're just going to rename it config.yaml. And that's where we're going to store all our environment variables. So this is where you're going to put your Pinecone key, your OpenAI key, your Google key, everything. Anything else that you want to use, this is where you put it. So for example, if you want to use email, you can do it from here. Today, we're just going to be using OpenAI, Pinecone, and Google Search. The next thing you're going to do is create an API key with OpenAI. So if you don't already have an account, sign up for OpenAI, then navigate to platform.openai.com/account/API-keys. We're going to click Create New Key right here. We're going to name it Super2 because I already have a super. Then I'm just going to say Create Secret Key. I'm going to copy it, and don't worry, I'm going to revoke all of these keys before publishing this video. Then I'm going to come back to the repo, specifically the config.yaml file. I'm going to find the OpenAI key right there, and I'm going to paste it and save. The next thing we need is a Pinecone API key. So if you're using a free Pinecone account, you can only have one index at a time. I've already created one, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And then on the left over here, we're going to click API keys. I'm going to click Create New API Key, and then enter the key name. I'm going to call it Super2 again. Create key. I'll copy the key value. We're going to switch back to Visual Studio Code, and then at the very top it says your Pinecone API key. We're going to paste over that, but we also need the Pinecone environment. So if I switch back, this is the Pinecone environment right there. I'm going to copy that as well, and I'm going to paste it and save. The next thing we're going to do is get the Google API key. So you're going to come to Google Cloud Services right here under API and Services. Click it. Now, I already have one called Super AGI, so I'm just going to use that again. But if you don't, you're going to click this and create a new project. Then up here, you can search for different resources. So you're going to type Custom Search API. And then under Marketplace, it says Custom Search API. You're going to go ahead and click that. Manage, Create Credentials. And then you're just going to say Custom Search API right there. We're going to use the Application Data option. And no, we're not using any of these. Then you click Next. Then from here, we're going to type Super AGI. It's going to create the service account ID automatically. We can generate it, and then you can have a description, but you don't need it. Create and continue. Select a role. This is optional. We're going to skip over that. And then grant users access to this account. And we don't need to do that either. So I click Done. Then on the left side, we're going to click Credentials. At the top, we're going to click Create Credentials. And we need an API key. It's creating one now. I'm going to copy that, close it. We're going to switch back to the config.yaml file, and we're going to place it right here over the Google API key. Then save. The last thing we need is the search engine ID. And you're going to get that from this programmable search engine website. It's kind of weird that you need this, but you do. And I'm going to drop all of these links in the description below. So from here, click Get Started. I already have one, Super AGI, but if you didn't, you're going to click Add. You can add a search engine name and then just create it. It's pretty straightforward. But we're going to use our existing one, Super AGI, right there. And then we need this search engine ID. I'm going to copy it. We're going to switch back to the config.yaml file and place that right there. Click Save. Now we have everything we need. Now to install Super AGI, we need to do two things with Docker. The first thing we need to do is type docker-compose up-build, and then hit enter. And that's going to build everything from our repository. And again, you do need Docker up and running for this to work. The nice thing about Docker is you're likely not going to run into any of the Python versioning issues, the module missing issues that I know so many of you ask about. I run into that every single time. So it's really nice that the engineers put this together. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's up and running. Then the last thing we got to do is just go to localhost. So go to your browser, type localhost:3000, and then hit enter. And there it is. Here's Super AGI. This is what a fresh install looks like when you first get started. So we're going to go over to this Agents tab right here. We're going to click create agent. I'm going to say this is a test agent. We do need a description, so testing. And then we can add one or many goals here. So we're going to say research AI topics for YouTube videos. That's the only goal that I'm going to give it. And if you have GPT-4 API access, you can select it here. But if not, you can always go with GPT 3.5 Turbo. So I'm going to go with Turbo for now because it's really fast. And here is where you select the tools. So these are the tools that Super AGI has to use. Let's look at them. Read email, send email, append file, delete file. The one that we definitely want is Google search, read file, and write file. Everything else I encourage you to play around with and find what works for you. It also gives us some advanced options, but I'm not going to go through that now. And the nice thing is, Super AGI seems to figure out what tools it needs as it goes. Then we click this button, create and run, and it starts. There, it's thinking. It has all of the details of this agent. And again, the nice thing is you can have multiple agents running in parallel. Now, if you want to see a little bit more information about what's going on, switch back to Visual Studio Code, and you can actually look through the logs of what it's doing. All right, there it goes. So I am a test agent. My role is testing. It gives a whole bunch of information. I think this is all the prompt. And if we scroll down, here's the next thing it's going to do. Determine which next command to use and respond using the format specified above. Thoughts. To achieve my goal, I should start by performing a Google search to find relevant AI topics. Here's a Google search returned, and then it gives us a bunch of information returned from the Google search, and it'll continue on. Here's the next thought. I should save the relevant information to a file for future reference. Plan, save the AI topics to a file. So it automatically grabbed the tool, write file, and it wrote it to a file called AI_topics.txt. Really, really cool. And it thinks it's finished. Since I have completed my goal of researching AI topics for YouTube videos, I should use the finish command. It also includes criticism, just like AutoGPT does. So it's thinking and then also criticizing its own thoughts and planning around those criticisms. So that's Super AGI. Now you know how to install it and run it. Play around with it. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to jump in our Discord. I'm happy to answer questions there. And let me know what you build with Super AGI. If you like this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Tom Brady has personally gifted each and every one of you with 1 year free of electric vehicle rental.
Wait, did I pay for that, or did you guys pay for that?
You did, Tom! You get a rental! You get a rental! I get a rental!
Hey, welcome back. A new research paper out of Google DeepMind in Princeton aims to completely append the way that people think about prompt engineering and make large language models do logic, problem solving, and reasoning much more aligned with how the human brain does those things. It's really interesting, and the results are incredible. I'm going to walk you through this paper. We're going to look at some samples and results, and then finally, I'm going to show you a GitHub repo that implements Tree of Thought prompting. So here's the paper. It's titled Tree of Thoughts: Deliberate Problem Solving with Large Language Models. And what it aims to do is give large language models the ability to think through problems before actually solving them. Let's look at the abstract. So the way large language models work is it's basically just predicting what's next in a text sequence. So you have the prompt, and then the large language model is essentially predicting what's next in those series of words. And this is great for a lot of different use cases. But when you start to get into logical problems, reasoning problems, math problems, that's where this left to right decision making really starts to break down. And what Tree of Thought promises to do is essentially set up a way for large language models to think through problems in multiple steps, to examine different paths to a solution, choose the best one, and then output the actual solution. Large language models are increasingly being deployed for general problem solving across a wide range of tasks, but are still confined to token level left to right decision making processes during inference. That means it's looking at a sentence and it's deciding what's the next most likely word to come after that. And that's how large language models work. This means they can fall short in tasks that require exploration, strategic look ahead, or where initial decisions play a pivotal role, meaning I need to think through problems in multiple steps. And there's been a number of solutions to this already before Tree of Thought came along. Chain of Thought is an example solution to this problem, where Chain of Thought is a prompt in which you are asking the large language model to provide the logical steps in between the actual prompt and the solution. So here it says, Tree of Thought allows LMs to perform deliberate decision making by considering multiple different reasoning paths and self-evaluating choices to decide the next course of action, as well as looking ahead, or backtracking when necessary to make global choices. So it's not linear anymore. It can go down a decision tree, figure out that that's not the best solution, and then backtrack and try other permutations. And so there are 3 challenges that this paper tests Tree of Thought on: Game of 24, creative writing, and crossword puzzles. And I'll explain what each of these are when we get to them. But here's something important to note. In Game of 24, while GPT-4 with chain of thought prompting only solved 4% of tasks, our method achieved a success rate of 74%. That is an incredible improvement. And so in this diagram, you can really see what we're talking about. Now, on the left side, we have input-output prompting. This is the most simple form of prompting. Essentially, give it an input, get an output. That's what most people do today. Next, we have chain of thought prompting, in which we ask the large language model to explain step by step its reasoning as it comes to a conclusion or a solution. And last, we have self-consistency train of thought. And what that is essentially the same thing as chain of thought, except it asks the same thing multiple times, and whichever result is the most consistent, whichever one comes up the most often, it chooses that one. And so that's a way to normalize the results that you're getting, so you're making sure that this is the most confident result from the large language model. Now, on the right, this is tree of thought. And tree of thought essentially asks the large language model to come up with a number of solutions, these top level nodes, and from there, they can dive further into different permutations from that node, discover some that aren't working, like these in red, go back up, find the best one, and then continue down. And finally, through this permutation, it has found the best result, the best output. And that's what Tree of Thought does. It's much more complex of a prompt and actually requires coding to implement versus any of the input-output prompting, chain of thought, or self-consistency. So it's much more complex, but it also produces much better results. This paper goes really deep into the math of how everything works and uses symbols to represent the different types of prompts. We're not going to go too deep into the math, though. Here in the background of the paper, they talk about the 3 most common forms of prompting today: input-output, chain of thought, and self-consistency chain of thought. And we've already talked about those, so I'm going to skip over this section. Next, it details what Tree of Thoughts is, and let's go through that. So the first step of Tree of Thoughts is thought decomposition. Basically, taking the problem and breaking it down into intermediate steps. Very similar to how the human brain works. If you have a very tough problem that you're trying to solve, you don't just look at that problem and solve it one for one. You break it down into smaller problems. An example of that is complex math problems. So as a human, you look at a complex math problem and you don't just solve it by looking at it one for one. You break down each individual segment, solve that, and then build it up into something that you can solve all at once from those individual pieces. And that's what thought decomposition is. Next is the thought generator. So given one of these pieces, given one of these intermediate steps, come up with different potential solutions for that intermediate step. Next is the state evaluator. So now that we have this tree starting to form, we have the initial node at the top, and then we start to have it broken down into intermediate steps. And for each of those intermediate steps, we need a way to evaluate whether that's a good path to take or a bad path to take or somewhere in between. And that's what the state evaluator does. It actually uses the large language model after the big problem has been broken down to evaluate all of the potential solutions for some of these intermediate steps. And I find that so fascinating that we're not only using the large language model to break down the big problem, but for each individual step, we're using it to evaluate how good a potential intermediate solution is. And here they say, we propose a third alternative. By using the LM to deliberately reason about states. When applicable, such a deliberate heuristic can be more flexible than programmed rules and more sample efficient than learned models. They propose using one of 2 methods to evaluate each state. And the first is value-based. So they actually ask a large language model for a value 1 through 10 on how likely an intermediate step is to be a path to a given solution. Another way, rather than just using numbers 1 through 10, is asking to evaluate it by, is it sure, is it likely, or is it impossible? So let's take a look what the Game of 24 is, and then we'll head back to what we were just talking about. Game of 24 is a mathematical reasoning challenge where the goal is to use 4 numbers and basic arithmetic operations, so add, subtract, multiply, and divide, to obtain 24. So for example, given input 4, 9, 10, and 13, a solution output could be 10 minus 4, which is 6, multiplied by 13 minus 9, which is 4. So 6 multiplied by 4 equals 24. So coming back to evaluating each intermediate step, we can have common sense evaluations such as we know that 1, 2, and 3 are too small to reach 24. There's no possible combination of these three numbers with arithmetic to reach 24. Next, we look at all the leaves coming off of a given node. And we can actually have the large language model vote on which one is most likely to be the correct intermediate step to a solution. Now coming here to this chart, we're looking at two different algorithms that are possible with tree of thought. One is tree of thought using breadth first search, and the other is tree of thought using depth first search. And what that really means is if you can imagine you have a tree with nodes on it, breadth first search means it's going to search across horizontally, finding all the nodes on a single level, versus depth first search, meaning it's going to go as deep as it can into a branch on the tree before heading back up and trying that again. And that leads into the fourth component of tree of thought, which is the search algorithm, and that is breadth first or depth first. So let's look at tree of thought in the context of Game of 24. For the task setup, they scraped 4nums.com, and it has about 1,300 games. They ranked the games from easiest to hardest, and then they took the top 100 hardest games. Then they used the standard input-output prompt with 5 in-context examples, which basically means here's some examples of here's 4 numbers and here's what the output would be, here's another 4, here's what the output would be. So basically giving it few-shot prompts. So here's a chart of it going through the Game of 24. So you can see it basically comes up on this level, and these dotted dots means there's a bunch of other examples that are here. But for the ones that are shown, here's one that isn't working. So we have 4 plus 9 equals 13. The numbers left are 10, 13, and 13, the output of this previous addition. And we evaluate, can 10, 13, and 13 equal 24 in any way? And the answer is no. And so that's why this is in red, and the tree of thought stops there. But now coming over to here where it's in green, 10 minus 4 equals 6, and then what we're left with is 6, 9, and 13. Can 6, 9, and 13 reach 24? Well, 13 minus 9 is 4. Then we have 4 and 6 left. 4 times 6 is 24. And so that's how we get there. It's basically breaking down that math problem step by step and seeing, is it possible with what we have remaining to get to a solution? Now again, from that initial branch, this one works, but if we come over here and we look 13 minus 6 equals 7, what we have left is 7 and 9. Can we get to 24 with 7 and 9? The answer is no, we cannot. So here are the baselines. We use standard input-output prompt with 5 in-context examples, so I already talked about that. For chain of thought prompting, we augment each input-output pair with 3 intermediate equations, each operating on 2 remaining numbers. So again, chain of thought is breaking down a problem into intermediate steps. Then we also consider a chain of thought self-consistency baseline, which takes the majority output from 100 chain of thought samples, and an iterative refined approach on the top of an IO sample for at most 10 iterations. Basically saying, we take 100 chain of thought samples, and whichever one is most consistently getting output, we're using those. So here are the results. So here we have the IO prompt, which had a 7.3% success rate, chain of thought at 4%, and chain of thought with self-consistency at 9%. Now, when we look at tree of thought with a breadth of 1, it has 45%, but when we use a breadth of 5, it jumps all the way to 74%. That is a 10x improvement over input-output prompting. And you can see that tree of thought just absolutely crushed the other methods. Now, chain of thought with best of 100 did pretty well at 49%, but chain of thought with a best of 100 prompt takes a ton of prompting, and that's a ton of resources being used. Next, they gave it a creative writing problem. We invent a creative writing task where the input is 4 random sentences and the output should be a coherent passage with 4 paragraphs that end in the 4 input sentences respectively. Such a task is open-ended and exploratory and challenges creative thinking as well as high-level planning. So for the task setup, they got a sample of random sentences from randomwordgenerator.com and got 100 of those. And from there, they evaluated it in 2 ways. One, they used a GPT-4 zero-shot prompt to provide a 1 to 10 scalar scores. So basically saying how coherent is this passage? And then they also used human judgment in the same way. How coherent is this passage? Let's go down to here where they actually show an example. Write a coherent passage of 4 short paragraphs. The end sentence of each paragraph must be, it isn't difficult to do a handstand if you just stand on your hands. It caught him off guard that Space smelled of seared steak. When she didn't like a guy who was trying to pick her up, she started using sign language, and each person who knows you has a different perception of who you are. From there, we got a bunch of different plans, and 5 in total. And so here are some of the plans. So plan 1, introduce and explain the technique of doing a handstand. Switch to a story about an astronaut's first time in space. Describe a situation where a woman uses sign language to avoid unwanted attention. And the final paragraph explains how everyone has different perceptions of each other. Plan 2 is introduction to an unusual self-help book, mentioning a handstand as a metaphor for embracing challenges. Discuss the unexpected things learned from astronauts, including the smell of space. Describe a woman's clever tactic for avoiding unwanted attention at a bar, and contemplate how different perceptions of oneself can shape one's identity. So they had the large language model vote on one of those 5 plans, and plan 2 got the most votes, so they went with that. And so here are the creative writing results. We have the tree of thought, which is outperforming the input-output, and the chain of thought, and this is based on the GPT-4 coherency scores. And then for the human coherency comparison, and you can see that tree of thought also performed best. Last, they had mini crossword puzzles as the problem. Here we explore 5x5 mini crosswords as a harder search problem involving natural language. We aim to explore the limit of language models as a general problem solver that explores its own thoughts and guides its own exploration with deliberate reasoning as heuristics. And they measure it by the portion of correct letters and games separately. As shown in Table 3, input, output, and chain of thought prompting methods perform poorly with a word level success rate of less than 16%, while tree of thought significantly improves all metrics, achieving a word level success rate of 60% and solving 4 out of 20 games. Such an improvement is not surprising given IO and COT lack mechanisms to try different clues, making changes to decisions, or backtracking. And why is that important? It's because with crossword puzzles, every answer depends on every other answer. So you can't just answer one without thinking about what the potential answer is of all the other words around it. So that's why the tree of thought performs extraordinarily well versus input, output, or even chain of thought. In Table 3, we see the actual scores, with input, output getting 0% of the game solved, chain of thought getting 1%, and tree of thought getting 20%, which is obviously much better. So why is this all interesting? Let's take a look at this highlighted section. Our proposed tree of thought approach extends existing planning formulations by considering multiple potential feasible plans simultaneously at each problem-solving step, and proceeding with the most promising ones. The integration between thought sampling and value feedback organically integrates planning and decision-making mechanisms, enabling effective search inside a solution tree. So it is basically setting up the large language model to be able to think ahead, to backtrack when it gets something wrong, and to come up with the best solution based on a number of different potential paths to that solution. Now here they also talk about self-reflection. Using LLMs to assess the viability of their own predictions is becoming an increasingly important procedure in problem solving. I find that incredibly interesting. Now, if you remember a bunch of videos ago, I did a video about autonomous agents and that simulacra paper. And in that paper, they used the large language model to rank the insights and the memories by importance. So again, this notion of using the large language model to evaluate their own predictions, to evaluate other things, is becoming increasingly common. Here they reference the reflections paper, which I'll put up on the screen now. And it says they introduced the self-reflection mechanism in which language models provide feedback to their generation candidates. So not only using language models to generate the candidates, but actually using them to evaluate the candidates. So what are some of the limitations? Deliberate search, such as tree of thought, might not be necessary for many existing tasks that GPT-4 already excels at. Now that's a really important thing to note. And especially as large language models get better past GPT-4, they're going to be more and more capable of a wide set of logical problems, reasoning problems, mathematical problems, And these types of complex prompting structures might not be necessary. Also, search methods like Tree of Thought requires more resources, GPT-4 API costs, than sampling methods in order to improve task performances. But the modular flexibility of Tree of Thought allows users to customize such performance cost trade-offs. So that's the end of it. Now, at the beginning of the paper, they give a GitHub link and it says code repo with all prompts. When I open it up, this is what's found. So code will be cleaned and released soon in a few days. That was 4 days ago. So hopefully it comes out soon. In the meantime, I found another repository that has an implementation of Tree of Thought. So here it is. It's by Kai Gomez, Tree of Thoughts. And this is an implementation that I've already tested out locally. It's pretty good. Some of the outputs are a little bit confusing and it's hard to tell what's going on at times, but I'm going to dive more into this and figure out what's really going on. So now I'm going to show you quickly how to get that repo installed. First, you're going to grab this git clone and then the repo URL. I'm going to copy, I'm going to switch back to Visual Studio Code. To open up the terminal, you click this little button in the top right. I'm going to paste, and it's going to clone that repository to my desktop. From there, I'm going to cd into Tree of Thoughts, so that's change directory, hit enter, and now I'm in Tree of Thoughts. So from there, I'm going to click in the top right, the Explore button. I'm going to go to Open Folder, and then I'm going to open the Tree of Thoughts folder. And the next thing you have to do is write a script to utilize this Tree of Thoughts method. And they already provide an example.py, so let's go ahead and use that. And for the API key, I'm going to go to openapi.com and grab a new API key for myself. I'm going to paste it in here. Don't worry, I'm going to revoke this key before I publish the video. Then we're going to use v2 false and API base. We can leave that blank. So I'm going to save. Now, if you haven't already done this, you're going to run pip install OpenAI, and that will install the OpenAI module. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that now. And then there's a bunch of settings in here. I'll let you play around with them. You can use breadth first search, depth first search, chain of thought versus propose, evaluation strategy, voting or value. And here's some other values that you can modify. And so here's the input problem where you can actually enter your prompt. So you can say, using 1, 2, 6, and 9, use these 4 numbers in basic arithmetic operations to obtain 24. The output should be an equation. So I'll let you play around with that. I'll put the link in the description below to the repository and the research paper. If you like this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
There's nothing more powerful than you, making your thing happen, really going for it, doing business on your terms, giving it your all, making a difference, and loving what you do. Every single day, feeling fearless, fulfilled, free. When there's nothing holding you back, what would your thing be?
So today, I've got something that's just going to blow your mind. Google is gearing up to completely revolutionize the industry with this new AI they've been working on. And it goes by the name of Gemini. It's seriously next level stuff, rivaling ChatGPT and mighty GPT-4 in terms of understanding and generating natural language. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this one, so make sure you stick around till the end of the video. Now, what's Gemini all about? Well, this is Google's latest project in the world of large language models. The full form is Generalized Multimodal Intelligence Network, and it's basically this mega powerful AI system that can handle multiple types of data and tasks all at once. We're talking text, images, audio, video, even 3D models and graphs. And the tasks like question answering, summarization, translation, captioning, sentiment analysis, and so on. But here's the deal. Gemini isn't just one single model. It's an entire network of models, all working together to deliver the best results possible. All right, now how Gemini works? So basically, Gemini uses a brand new architecture that merges 2 main components, a multimodal encoder and a multimodal decoder. The encoder's job is to convert different types of data into a common language that the decoder can understand. Then the decoder takes over, generating outputs in different modalities based on the encoded inputs and the task at hand. Say, for instance, the input is an image, and the task is to generate a caption. The encoder would turn the image into a vector that captures all its features and meaning, and the decoder would then generate a text output that describes the image. Now, what sets Gemini apart and makes it special is that Gemini has several advantages when compared to other large language models, like GPT-4. First off, it is just more adaptable. It can handle any type of data and task without needing specialized models or any sort of fine-tuning. Plus, it can learn from any domain and data set without being boxed in by predefined categories or labels. So compared to other models that are trained on specific domains or tasks, Gemini can tackle new and unseen scenarios much more efficiently. Then, there's the fact that Gemini is just more efficient in general. It uses fewer computational resources and memory than other models that need to deal with multiple modalities separately. Also, it uses a distributed training strategy, which means it can make the most out of multiple devices and servers to speed up the learning process. And honestly, the best part is that Gemini can scale up to larger datasets and models without compromising its performance or quality, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. If we talk about size and complexity, one of the most common things people look at to measure a large language model is its parameter count, right? So, basically, parameters are numerical variables that serve as the learned knowledge of the model, enabling it to make predictions and generate text based on the input it receives. Generally speaking, more parameters means more potential for learning and generating diverse and accurate outputs. But having more parameters also means you need more computational resources and memory to train and use the model. Now, GPT-4 has 1 trillion parameters, which is about 6 times bigger than GPT.
Whether you're trying to get your ideas down, compose a message, or reply to someone, it can be difficult to write well and write fast. With Grammarly Go, you can face any writing
GPT 3.5 with its 175 billion parameters. That makes GPT-4 one of the biggest language models ever made. For Gemini, Google has said that it comes in 4 sizes: gecko, otter, bison, and unicorn. They haven't given us the exact parameter count for each size, but based on some hints, we can guess that unicorn is the largest and probably similar to GPT-4 in terms of parameters, maybe a bit less. Oh, and by the way, I gotta mention this before I show you few examples of what it can do. I must say that Gemini is more interactive and creative than other LLMs. It can churn out outputs in different modalities based on what the user prefers, and it can even generate novel and diverse outputs that aren't bound by existing data or templates. For example, Gemini could whip up original images or videos based on text descriptions or sketches. It could also create stories or poems based on images or audio clips. Now let's talk about how does it not exactly outsmart, but perform tasks that are more varied and longer than GPT-4. Alright, let me give you a few examples. One thing Gemini can do is multimodal question answering. This is when you ask a question that involves multiple types of data, like text and images. For instance, you might ask, who is the author of this book, while showing an image of a book cover? Or perhaps, what is the name of this animal, while showing an image of some creature? Gemini can answer these questions by combining its skills in understanding both text and visuals. Another cool thing it can do is multimodal summarization. Imagine you've got a piece of information that's made up of different types of data, like text and audio. For example, you might want to summarize a podcast episode or a news article by generating a short text summary or an audio summary. Gemini can do all that by putting together its skills in textual and auditory comprehension. A third thing is multimodal translation. This is when you need to translate a piece of information that involves multiple types of data, like text and video. Suppose you have a video lecture or a movie trailer that you need to generate subtitles for, or dub in another language. Gemini can pull that off by combining its skills in textual and visual translation. And then there's multimodal generation. This is when you want to generate a piece of information that involves multiple types of data, like text and images. For example, you might want to generate an image based on a text description or a sketch, or maybe you want to generate a text based on an image or a video clip. Again, Gemini can do this by combining its skills in textual and visual generation. But to me, honestly, the most impressive thing that Gemini can perform is multimodal reasoning, which basically means it can combine information from different data types and tasks to make assumptions. For example, let's say you show it a clip from a movie. And using the multimodal reasoning, Gemini can now answer complex questions like, what is the main theme of this movie? By synthesizing information from multiple modalities. So, it allows Gemini to notice patterns that happen again and again. understand how characters interact with each other, and find hidden messages or meanings in a movie. By doing all of this, Gemini can give you a complete understanding of what the movie is really about and what its main idea or message is. And honestly, I'm seriously blown away by that. So, these are just a couple of things Gemini can do. There's a ton more potential here that I just can't cover in this video. But I hope you're starting to see just how incredibly powerful and versatile this technology really is. So where does this leave us in terms of the future of AI? Well, it's pretty obvious to me that Google is likely going to give GPT-4 and maybe even GPT-5 a real challenge in the coming years with this multimodal approach. This also means we're likely to see more applications and services that use Gemini's capabilities to provide better user experiences and solutions. For instance, we could see more personalized assistants that can understand and respond to us in different modalities. Or maybe more creative tools that can help us generate new content or ideas in different modalities. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on Google's Gemini. And just to be clear, I'm not some crazy fan of Google or anything. I'm just sharing my opinions based on the research, reading, and observations I've made. I hope this video has been informative and you've picked up something new today. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next video.
Walden University is all about change. It's time.
AI is having a very busy year. AI for generative AI. Third, AI, deploying AI, finally with AI.
With AI.
Power of AI, generative AI platform AI.
Google had mentioned AI 460 times during the Google I/O and positions itself as an AI-first company. Google's stock price shot up by 57 billion in that day. What did Google say about AI causing the stock price to go up? How will this help us? Will Google outperform ChatGPT-4 and Microsoft? Let's find out what AI tools Google are releasing. First, Google has changed Magic Eraser to Magic Editor. Let's have a look. In this photo, if you wish you had taken your bag off for the photo, no problem, you can remove that back strap. If you wish you had posed so it looks like you're really catching the water in your hand, no problem, you can adjust that. Let's look at something even more amazing. You always want your kid at the center of this picture, no problem. You also wish the balloons weren't cut off, no problem, let's fix them. You can go ahead and reposition the birthday boy. Magic Editor automatically recreates parts of the bench and balloons that were not captured in the original shot. The sky is a little bit dark, no problem, you can punch up the sky. It also changes the lighting in the rest of the photo so the edit feels consistent. So you can now relax and not stress about capturing the perfect photo right away. This is awesome, right? Google is now rolling out Magic Editor in Google Photos. Second, Palm 2. Google announces their latest Palm model, Palm 2. It is Google's answer to GPT-4. There are 4 different Palm 2 models: Gecko, Otter, Bison, and Unicorn. Gecko is the smallest model. It can work on mobile devices or even offline. 2 can be fine-tuned for specific domains such as security and medical knowledge. SecPalm is designed for security. It can help security experts understand and resolve threats. Another example is MedPalm 2. It is fine-tuned on medical knowledge. It has seen a 9-fold reduction in inaccuracies compared to the base model, approaching the performance of clinician experts. Google is also working MedPalm 2 to synthesize information from medical imaging like plain films and mammograms. The model is now available in preview. Third, Bard is Google's answer to ChatGPT. It is like your personal assistant. It is now much more powerful. Google claims that you can do and create anything you can imagine. For example, it can help developers with coding and debugging. It is proficient in over 20 programming languages, including C++, Go, JavaScript, and Python. It can be exported to Google's Colab. You can also export Bard's responses directly to Gmail and Google Docs. This makes Bard more convenient than ChatGPT. Bard plus tools. This is pretty much like ChatGPT's plugins. In the coming weeks, Bard is also becoming more visual. Using Google Search, Bard will help you find more relevant images. Google Lens will be integrated with Bard. Bard can also write caption directly from photos. For example, you might upload your dog's image and ask Bard to write a funny caption about them. The tables you generated in Bard can also export to Google Sheet, but that's just the start. Bard will be able to tap into all kinds of services from across the web with extensions from partners like Instacart, Indeed, Khan Academy, and many more. It will work with Adobe Firefly. You can use natural language to ask Bard to create images for you. This is Google's response to Midjourney's competition. Bard is now open to 180 countries, including US, UK, Singapore, Malaysia, and India, and will support 40 languages soon. Fourth, Google Workspace. This refers to Docs, Sheet, Slide, Gmail. This is Google's response to Copilot. It will help you write documents, create sheets. These make it easy to help you get started. In the Google slide, it can also generate images for you based on your input. It will even help you create speaker notes for each slide. These features will be available starting next month, so you can focus on the presentation instead of the note. Duet AI for Workspace. Google Workspace has an awesome new tool called Sidekick, and it's going to make your work life a lot easier. This tool is like your personal assistant. It's always there, ready with ideas and suggestions that fit right into what you're working on. For example, if you're writing a story and hit a roadblock, Sidekick can jump in with prompts to help move the plot forward. And it's not just about text. Sidekick can also create images based on the details in your document, adding some eye-catching visuals to your work. So whether you're working on a document or brainstorming new ideas, Sidekick is there to provide a helpful boost of creativity and productivity. Fifth, Google Search. Many people are wondering if ChatGPT will replace Google Search, but Google believe AI won't replace search, but will make it smarter. Is this possible? Let's find out. With the latest update, Google Search will first show you the snapshot on your search topic from generative AI. Right below that, we will see relevant information or products that meet your search. You also have option to ask follow-up question, which will bring you to the brand new conversation mode. Personally, I wonder with the generative result, how many people will still scroll down to see more information. Sixth, Project Tailwind. Project Tailwind is like an AI-first notebook that helps you learn faster. You can simply pick the files from Google Drive, and it effectively creates a personalized and private AI model that has expertise in the information that you give it. It will pull out key concepts and questions grounded in the materials that you give to it. This is going to be a game changer for students, making them easier to understand and absorb classroom content. We have seen AI becoming increasingly powerful. How can we ensure AI is used safely, such as in preventing the spread of misinformation? This brings us to seventh, responsible AI. Generative AI makes it easier than ever to create new content, but it also raises additional questions about its trustworthiness. So, Google is developing and providing people with tools to evaluate online information. For example, in this photo, can you tell if this is real or fake? I can't. With Google's About This Image tool in Google Search, you'll be able to see important information, such as when and where similar images may have first appeared, where else the image has been seen online, including news, fact-checking, and social sites. All this providing you with helpful context to determine if it's reliable. I am glad to see Google taking this seriously. While this might be just the start, it undeniably sets the stage for greater awareness and pushes the standards higher for competitors. That concludes our update on the most recent AI tools announced at Google I/O. If you enjoyed this video and want to help it reach a broader audience, please click the like button and subscribe. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on these AI tools from Google, so feel free to share your opinions in the comments section.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. Take a look at this.
Say you're on a hike and you stop to take a photo in front of a waterfall. You wish you had taken your bag off for the photo, so let's go ahead and remove that bag strap. And maybe you want to even get rid of some clouds to make it feel as sunny as you remember it. Looking even closer, you wish you had posed so it looks like you're really catching the water in your hand. No problem. You can adjust that.
This was a moment at Google's I/O conference for developers. The way the crowd responded to this moment reminds me a little bit of that time Steve Jobs scrolled on the iPhone for the first time in public.
Well, how do I scroll through my list of artists? How do I do this? I just take my finger and I scroll.
Now, obviously, Google's keynote wasn't on the same magnitude, but you could sense something, that little spark of delight in seeing something digital that was visually surprising. I think it's likely that as time goes on, AI will continue to surprise us in a similar way to the first iPhone did. After being blindsided by ChatGPT and the subsequent AI explosion, Google is hitting back, and they showcased just what they were capable of when given a clear direction and goal. From automatic email generating to a conversational search engine and the AI discovery of a molecular syringe. It's all very interesting stuff, which shows you just how quickly the world is about to change. But how are the risks going to be balanced by Google? In this episode, we'll take a look.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
I've been reflecting on the big technology shifts that we've all been a part of. The shift with AI is as big as they come. And we are doing this responsibly in a way that underscores the deep commitment we feel to get it right. So on behalf of all of us at Google, thank you and enjoy the rest of I/O.
It's clear that Google sees this as a big moment in their history and in world history. Think about it this way. Google's most valuable product is search, which, by the way, brings in about 60% of profits. If Google is willing to risk putting AI into their Google search, the center of their multi-billion-dollar income stream, AI can no longer be called a fad. It's here to stay. It's not an NFT or a meme coin. It's a new class of legitimate product, a digital assistant for your workflow. Eventually, no matter what job you do, AI assistants will help you do the repetitive, boring stuff, or at least that's the plan anyway. The implications of this are huge. It's changing vast swaths of industries like the web did, but 10 times as fast. In May of 2023, Google unveiled their AI game plan to the world. Google's main strategy was to integrate all of their AI research systems into their products. Now, Microsoft Bing had their chance to corner the market, but it seems like they couldn't capitalize on their lead fast enough. Bing AI turned out to be even weaker than ChatGPT. It is useful for some stuff. For example, I had an issue with Ableton that would be hard to Google, and Bing AI did help me out. But still, for a lot of people, they want even more. For Google, it was the perfect time to strike back, and with their large user base, they could now protect their cash cow, search. Google's AI search can basically do everything Bing AI can do, but with the accuracy of Google.
So let's start with a search for what's better for a family with kids under 3 and a dog, Bryce Canyon or Arches. Now, although this is the question that you have, you probably wouldn't ask it in this way today. You'd break it down into smaller ones, sift through the information, and then piece things together yourself. Now, search does the heavy lifting for you. There's an AI-powered snapshot that quickly gives you the lay of the land on a topic. And so here you can see that while both parks are kid-friendly, only Bryce Canyon has more options for your furry friend. Then if you want to dig deeper, there are links included in the snapshot. You can also click to expand your view, and you'll see how the information is corroborated. So you can check out more details and really explore the richness of the topic. This new experience builds on Google's ranking and safety systems that we've been fine-tuning for decades.
To make shareholders happy, Google spent a lot of time in the presentation focusing on shopping. They wanted to make it clear to advertisers that they're not going to be left behind here. In summary, this is promising a much smarter Google search experience with the ability to understand complex questions. It's a natural conversation chat experience that includes follow-up questions. So what about Bard? So as many of you remember, the launch of Bard was pretty poor. The presentation was rushed to compete with ChatGPT, and the initial results of the system were less than stellar. Google left that battle with their tail between their legs, but have now returned with vengeance. Google claims that Bard now has better math skills, logic, reasoning capabilities, and can now access the internet.
So I'm thinking about colleges, but I'm not sure what I want to focus on. I'm into video games, and what kinds of programs might be interesting?
The all-new Chevy Colorado is made for more. Bring more. See more. And be more. The all-new Chevy Colorado, made for more.
Okay, this is a helpful head start. Animation looks pretty interesting. Now I could ask, help me find colleges with animation programs in Pennsylvania. Okay, great. That's a good list of schools. Now to see where these are, I might now say, show these on a map. Here, Bard's going to use Google Maps to visualize where the schools are. Now let's start organizing things a bit. Show these options as a table. Nice. Structured and organized, but there's more I want to know. Add a column showing whether they're public or private schools. Perfect. This is a great start to build on. And now let's move this to Google Sheets so my family can jump in later to help me with my search. Okay, now that's a taste of what's possible when Bard meets some of Google's apps. But that's just the start. Bard will be able to tap into all kinds of services from across the web, with extensions from incredible partners like Instacart, Indeed, Khan Academy, and many more. With Adobe Firefly, you'll be able to generate completely new images from your imagination right in Bard.
So with that being said, what's the difference between Bard and ChatGPT? Well, for one, Bard now has live internet access. OpenAI, on the other hand, hasn't released this feature to the public yet. ChatGPT can often cite sources that are incorrect or hallucinated, but with Bard, you can easily fact-check within the app. Also, unlike ChatGPT, Bard gives you the option to select multiple drafts of its outputs. These drafts are distinct from one another. It allows you to choose the output that most aligns with your preferences. While GPT-4 is capable of understanding images, this function hasn't been rolled out to ChatGPT yet. Bard, on the other hand, can understand images.
So, in the next few weeks, Bard will become more visual, both in its responses and your prompts. So if you're looking to have some fun with your fur babies, you might upload an image and ask Bard to write a funny caption about these two. It lends a text that this is a photo of a goofy German Shepherd and a Golden Retriever, and then Bard uses that to create some funny captions.
Really, it's going to be so interesting to see how all of this pans out. As for availability, there's no waitlist anymore, and Bard will be available in 180 countries. Another area that Google focused their AI injection efforts on was Gmail. For many years, Gmail has had sentence suggestions and small elements of AI, but now they're leaning fully into it. They call this new system Help Me Write. It goes like this. A user types in a prompt, hits create, and a full email draft appears. The idea is you'll no longer need to search through email chains because the system automatically pulls useful information from old emails and other conversations, and it learns from your writing to improve over time. I can see that the aim of this is to write emails faster so people can focus on doing actual work. But while watching the presentation, I couldn't help but entertain a funny thought. Gmail is absolutely massive and everyone uses it. In the near future, in essence, we might just have AIs writing to each other for correspondences. Humans will be less involved in business communication. What this exactly means, I don't know, but it is a strange thought. Google Photos now gets an AI overhaul.
you can create a stunning 3D image from any regular photo and then use it as your wallpaper. So let's take a look. And I really like this photo of my daughter, so let me pick that. And you'll notice there's a sparkle icon at the top. So if I tap that, I get a new option for cinematic wallpaper. So let me activate that and then wait for it. And check out the parallax effect as I tilt the device. It literally jumps off the screen. Now, under the hood, we're using an on-device convolutional neural network to estimate depth, and then a generative adversarial network for inpainting as the background moves. The result is a beautiful cinematic 3D photo.
Users can now reposition elements in their photos, and the AI fills in the rest. This means that parts of photos that never existed can be seamlessly recreated.
Nothing more powerful than you, making your thing happen.
I'm out of here.
Doing business on your terms, making a difference, and loving what you do every single day. When there's nothing holding you back, what would your thing be?
Test your best summer with Summer Dash Pass. Sign up now.
Yo, appreciate y'all chilling in the studio with me.
How is Google doing all of this? Google has been researching AI for a long time. Now they're just letting it out of bed. A lot of what Google
I gotta take a bathroom break and figure out something for dinner.
Palm. They're calling this new system Palm 2. It will generate text in most languages, has the ability to code, and also the ability to...
I'm out of here, guys. Peace.